Hi everyone, it's Alex from XL Hobby Store. What I decided to do is make a video regarding the tools that you need to start off with if you're a modeler. Even if you're an experienced modeler, you might find things that I use here that you probably thought, well, it's quite a good idea, or that's actually a bad idea, whatever. Anyway, so what I decided to do is show you some of the essentials that you need as a modeler to work, and we're going to start off very basically. The main thing you need to start off with is, number one, you need glue, right? You need to buy Tamiya, whatever glue you prefer. This is Tamiya. They've got a couple of them. This is the two Tamiya glues you get. You get the extra thin one as well. So you have the three variations of Tamiya. And what they look like, you open them, and they've got the little brushes inside, and that's the extra thin. And the difference, it's called extra thin, it's not the content of the glue, but it's actually the brush. It's a thin brush. You can get into the close or small little areas. Then you have the other ones that are thicker, and then you have ones that are really thick. So these are the three glues that you can use. So without glue you can't build your model. Right, the next thing that you need is brushes. And the thing about brushes is you can spend a lot of money on good brushes, or you can do what I do, is experiment with them. I go to dollar stores and I buy brushes. Sometimes I'm really lucky, and I like to know who made these. These are fantastic. For the three of them, I think I paid like $2.50. And they're really nice quality brushes. And I went back there a week later and it was sold out. So anyway, so it depends how much money you want to spend. You get you know, the good modelers or that spend a lot of money on these brushes, but these work fine with me. The other things you get are these clippers. You can use them to clip your pieces of the models out. Here's another one. This one is to pick pieces out. Not necessary to have one of these, but you know, as time goes by you might need them. Yeah, this is a good old nail filer. The nail filer I use quite extensively. Once you've clipped off the pieces from the assembly holder, you find that there are always little pieces left on the piece that you're about to assemble. And what I do, I use the nail filer to file off the edges to make sure it's nice and smooth. You buy 20 or 30 of these once you get a dollar store for $1. So don't go out and buy very important ones or name brands of nail filers. Nail file's a nail filer. Toothbrush, not to brush my teeth, because you don't have time to leave your workbench, but rather use these toothbrushes to do chipping. When you do weathering, you can brush the model to do chipping, or you can use it to spray or splash your model with a pigment of some kind. Once again, you buy a bunch of these at the dollar store, and you can chuck them out once you finish. They're so cheap, it's not even worth keeping them. The other thing as well is a good pair of scissors. The scissors you can use for whatever you want, to cut decals, to cut the pieces off, even off the assembly if you want to. You always need a good pair of scissors as a modeler. Then I have this sponge thing. You buy them in packs again from the dollar store, and I use this to sponge off excess water, or to use turpentine on the large areas. Very useful, and you can actually tear them. Like you buy them once again from the dollar store, you can tear them, use them to do some weathering, and once you've done it, you can check them out. You can buy them at the dollar store as well. The other things you're going to need are these clamps. You can buy them at good ones like these. These cost me, I don't know, $15. But they're really good ones. from Home Depot or Canadian Tire, wherever you want to go buy them, and buy the small ones, because if you buy big ones, it's not going to work. But you can buy them in size like this, and you use these to hold stubborn pieces together. So if you have pieces that aren't gluing properly, I just use this, I stick it, and I'll let it lie there, and within 20 minutes later it's stuck nicely. So you use these clamps for that, to hold them together. Okay, if I've got ladies watching, this is a blusher brush. Okay, not that I'm going to do my beauty face, but I use this to do weathering on my tanks, to add powder, pigment to my models, and they work beautifully. I think I also bought this from the dollar store. The dollar store loves me. So you can dab them, you can put in water, you can do whatever you want of these, and they're really nice and useful, very to work with. And you get different types, right? So here's one here, specifically. You can see the difference. This was I bought from Michael's, and it's a little bit harder. This cost me like, for 3 of them, like 25 bucks. This one cost me like $1.50. Anyway, you can, obviously this is a harder bristle than that one, but you use them for different things. But anyway, you're going to need these eventually when you do, if you're going to modeling, so be aware of that. I have this here. This is a piece of putty, and what I use with this, you can still see it's still in the original packaging. And what I do with these, I have toothpicks, and I just, if I'm modeling wheels or painting wheels, I stick the wheels to these, and I just put them in there, spray paint them whatever I want to. Once I've done, take the toothpicks, chuck them out, and I'll keep this, right. It's putty, and I've had this for about 2 years, and it's still standing here. Yeah, I don't know how much I paid for this, but anyway, this is what you need to hold it. Once again, you don't have to buy a putty, but I prefer to put them down and spray them. Some people just hold the models and paint with their hands. But that's just one thing about modeling is there's no right and wrong way of doing things. Okay, I guess there are right ways of doing things as well, but in this case, it doesn't. You can use it any way you want. Toothpicks. One example I use is to show you is to hold the pieces together, or in my case, I use these little canisters to mix the paints. So I find it quite easily. You just mix them nicely in there, and it works fine. So you can use the toothpicks for that as well. So while I've got these canisters on here, I know some of the experienced modelers, they actually mix the paint in the airbrush little tube here, but you know, you can see the mess you make. But anyway, I prefer to mix mine first, test it a bit to see if that's exactly the color I'm looking for. Then I pour it in. And these containers, once again, you can buy them packs of 20 from the dollar store, and then you use them a couple times and you chuck them out. You don't have to keep them all the time. So that goes with the toothpicks. Or you can use these pellets. Very popular. I use them often. Most modelers use them, and you can put them to different paints in here, and you use them to paint your model, or you can mix them in here, whatever you want. I've seen some folks who have actually gone very innovative that in order to avoid dirtying this, they put like aluminium pieces in here, and they chuck them after they've used them. But this is cheap and works really, really well. The one thing I've got here is the builders or painters masking tape, and what I do with this is that if I'm busy airbrushing a model and I want to make sure parts of it don't get a different type of color, I just put the masking tape and I mark it off. I spray paint it and I remove it. And the nice thing about this is that for the folks that have used painter's tape before, it's very easy. Comes off, and the adhesive part of it doesn't remove the paint. So if you've already painted over it and you need to do another part, this will not remove the paint. And that's the nice thing about using the builder's oh my goodness, mine's in blank. Anyway, masking tape. And the places you buy these masking tapes is at Home Depot or any place that sells paints, industrial paints anyway. You can get them there and it works fine. The one thing I've got here, this looks like an ice pick or a screwdriver, but I use this to, one of my videos later on, I'm going to show you how to, some folks will say, hey Alex, how do I weather a model that looks like it's been destroyed in battle? And I use this in a way to show bullet holes, etc. But I'll show you how to do it in one of my videos. It's too much to explain how to do it. The other thing I use is a soldering iron. And once again, if you're starting off, you don't need this. But I use a soldering iron also to destroy a tank, a model. And once again, watch my video, should be up in 2-3 weeks time, video what I'm going to do specifically how to weather a model that's been destroyed in battle, and I'm going to be using this in that episode, so watch for that. The other things you're going to need are the airbrush cleaners. Very important to use to clean your airbrushes. Once you've sprayed it, you use your airbrush cleaner to take out all the excess paint, and you spray the excess paint into this little pot. So the reason being is that you don't want the whole place to smell of fumes, or you're going to get fumigated. It's got a little filter here, prevents all the fumes from coming out, or part of it, and you spray it into there. But you need the airbrush cleaner, and you get, I think most brands now have got their own airbrush cleaners. This is a Tamiya, I've got Vallejo, I've got MIG as well, Ammo MIG. So you can use whichever you want, whichever your preference is. They all work pretty well. This is turpentine or turpentine. I barely use it, but there are times where I use this to do work on my models. And one of my episodes I'll be showing how I use the turpentine. You get thinner, right? Thinner. A lot of folks use thinner to thin up the paints. You can use thinner for various things. I use thinner, for instance, to do my pigments, to attach them. You get the pigment fixer, or in my case, I just use a thinner, and it binds the pigment pretty well as well, and it works really well. So it's a matter of choice. You can have the pigment fixer, or you can use a thinner. Then I have hairspray. Hairspray lacquer. It's I don't know if you can see it. It cost me $2, and it's just hairspray. You spray your models, and it works great to do chipping. In fact, one of my episodes I'm going to be doing, it's going to be called the hairspray technique, and I'll show you how to use hairspray to do chipping. The other thing I use is a mug, good old mug, and in here is water. Because most of my paints are water-based, I just use this to rinse the excess paint off it. By the way, you're going to need these. Okay, I'll go through these a lot. So you need, I use this, which is a harder one. This is the tissue one. So depending what work you're doing, you can use this type of material, which is like almost cloth, or you can just use the normal serviette or napkin type material to do your cleaning. Anyway, so in here, just an old mug I used, put water in it, and what I'll do, I'll rinse it, and I can now use it. I just make sure I wipe out the excess paint, and voila, I can use it again. Right, there's more in here, so I always have it in here. The other little container I use is the for my decals. This one's still got water in it. I used it earlier today, and you put warm water in it and you cut your decals using the scissors, put them in there, and then you put your decals on. So it's a little container you're going to need like that. These are the things that you're going to forget. You're busy doing it, okay, oh no, I've got to do decals, where am I going to put water in? At least it's always there. The one question they always ask me, Alex, what about paints? You know, the thing about paints, you know, you could have an entire episode just about paints. As a starting person or a beginner, whatever you want to call yourself, or someone who wants to start or has been doing it for a while, my suggestion is, if you buy a box model, at the back of the box they normally tell you what paints you're going to need to finalize that model. Buy those. So buy the model, buy those paints, and then the next model you buy, you might find that the paints you had for the original model will work for the new one, so you just buy the extra ones. I know that Meng and a couple other brands have aligned themselves with a different painting company. For instance, Tacom has now aligned themselves with MIG. So if you buy Tacom models, they'll tell you exactly what MIG products to buy. If you buy Meng, I think they use Vallejo. Tamiya obviously uses Tamiya. Anyway, so go according to what they say there, and you build your collection of paints as you go along. On the left hand side here, I have all my different variations of paints. I have stands to hold my Tamiya. I separated them by brands. And I've collected these over the years. I haven't gone out and bought all of them and then spent thousands of dollars, then realizing I didn't use half of them. So as I need them, I buy them. Then I use them again. But you know what? At least I have them. The most common paint I use is on Tamiya anyway, is the XF1, which is a black, flat black. I watch a lot of the videos of other modelers, and at least a common color, the base color, they use black. The other one is the desert yellow. I think it's called the desert yellow from Tamiya. That's another one. The Nato green, Nato brown. So those are the common paints that I've used over and over and over. But just do that. My advice is just when you buy a model, look what paints they need, and then use those, and then continue. And you just be very careful. If you're going to airbrush, make sure that the paints that you're buying are airbrush friendly. Because if you buy a paint that isn't airbrush, you're going to have problems with your brush. They get thick, it gets stuck. You have to thin it, and buy paints that are ready for airbrushing. That way it saves you a lot of problems having to do it. Occasionally I actually do just normal, I build a model, I just use paints, I don't airbrush it at all. And that's how I used to do it when I was growing up. I didn't have an airbrush. So I've done a few of those, and I quite enjoy it. You miss just doing it. The airbrush is more, it looks nicer. Obviously the finish always looks better, but you know, it's a matter of choice. Okay, I think I've covered as much as I can. There's X-Acto knives, if you have them. That's one thing you need. The X-Acto knife, it comes in a little box like this, and then you can see it. You have the different types of blades for whatever you need, and you use it to cut pieces off or trim pieces off of the model. So this is an example of an X-Acto knife. It's got no knife at the bottom. You just add the attachment you need, and off you go. The other thing you need, and there's a very essential part of modeling, are tweezers. Sorry, my goodness, tweezers. And you get different types of tweezers. You get this one here. You get these. You have little hooks. So So you can see I have a couple of them. So depending on what I'm doing, I use a different tweezer to do it. And the reason you tweezers is that, well, for decals, for one, you can use the tweezers to put the decals on. There are pieces and models that are so small that fingers can't hold them properly, so use a tweezer to hold the piece to put it on the model, and that way it sticks on without having to keep on dropping it, because you've got thick fingers like mine. Yeah, so the tweezers will work really well. One glue that you're going to need, which I haven't mentioned, is super glue. You get these packs of, I think, 5 or 4 from the dollar store, and the reason I have super glue, some models, contrary to many beliefs, those glues that from Tamiya or whichever brand do not work. The plastic, either the plastic's bad quality or whatever, it doesn't stick. You have to go and actually use super glue to glue it, and it works better. Super glue is a pain because sometimes if you don't do a good job, it sticks on your fingers and your fingers get stuck and your skin comes off. But anyway, but you need super glue, and you can see I've already used these, but they come in these little tubes and you use them as you need them. And then once you've used it, you put it back in here, and a month later you open, and lo and behold, they still work. So I almost forgot about that. You need the glues, you need the super glue to do that as well. And you get super glues. I actually found them in South Africa, and I'm still trying to find them in North America, where they actually have a brush. You have the ones that you actually press against. I don't like those because the tip keeps on clogging up and you have to keep on snipping it. I found these in South Africa to do my resin tanks, and had a nice brush and worked beautifully. I ran out, and so hey, if anybody in South Africa wants to send me one, I'd love to hear from you, because I can't find them in North America. And everybody knows in North America, please let me know. The comments, let me know where I can buy them. Has to have a brush, please. Don't send me one. You have to press and glue it, because they don't work very well. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, one last thing. You get this glue here, school glue, and I use this to do dioramas, or if I want to put mud on a model. I go out and I go back my garden, I pick up a lot of soil, put in my little container here, put some glue, mix it up, and this is the glue you use. Alright, it's nice and thick, nice texture, and you can make beautiful dioramas of this, and you can make really nice texture for your model, showing the showing the muds that you want to use. So this is the glue. You can see I hardly ever use this. I use it occasionally. Some of my models don't really require this, but when you need it, you've got it, and I've had this for like 3 years, and I still got lots left. But anyway, it should be part of your weaponry to be a good model builder. All right, I think I'm done now. If I think I've left out anything, let me know. Oh, I did forget about something. Probably if you can't see it, this here is my whiteboard, and I use it to either write notes of things I'm going to do, or I attach the manual, the instruction manual to it, and that way I don't have it lying on my table and it's always in my way. I got to keep on moving out of my way. This way it's here, I use it. I use a marker pen, and I highlight the pieces that I've done as I go along. So I've got this, actually I don't even know where I've got this from, but it's a really nice little tool, and you can adjust it whatever angle you want to. And yeah, so I think now I'm definitely done, and actually I'm not done. The main thing, of course, you need a compressor for your airbrushes. And I've had this compressor for a long while. It works really well. Don't ask me the brand. It looks like it's a no-name brand. These probably going to be the most expensive part of the hobby building, is the compressor and the airbrushes. Everything else here you can if you follow my advice of starting off small, buying the paints you need for the specific model, it won't be, you won't be spending a lot of money. But if you are going to be airbrush, you have to have a compressor, and they vary between $250 to $500, even more expensive. I've seen guys who spend $800 for compressors. But anyway, it's up to you. This compressor I've had for a while, cost me about $300, and it works really well, and I have no problems with it. But anyway, okay. And then another thing is the lamp. I knew I forgot something. The lamp. This lamp here, I've got it at IKEA. It's got an LED lamp in it. So when you switch it on, it's a little dull. Then as it warms up, it becomes nice and bright, and it works pretty well. The other thing which some folks use are lenses. You can use lenses. I'm not much of a figurine type person. Hardly do any figurines actually. But if you do figurines, highly recommend that you get yourself a lens, magnifying lens, sorry, because that way you can do really good work. Some folks don't need it, but in my opinion, if you are going to do figurines, you need these nice lenses, and you get the ones that you actually mount on the table, and you can work. I've seen ones with the lamps, but they don't work very well, frankly. They're so high up, and then you have to, depending on your eyes, strength of your eyes, it blurs. And anyway, I'd rather just get one of those small ones you put on your table and you can work through it. And as time goes by, there are so many other things you can add to your collection. You can get these lazy Susies, the Chinese restaurants where you turn your food around. You can get small ones like this, where you can spray paint and you move it around. You'll spray paint your model. You can buy these you can build them yourselves, like a little box to put your model in, so that the spray doesn't fly everywhere. So yeah, anyway, I think I've said way too much already. Anyway, I hope this was useful. Happy modeling. Please visit back, subscribe. Appreciate your support. Have a good one.